get so mad, there's no control.
Ladies and gentlemen, just in case you live under a rock,
I might
you
grab
are
a bat, I
looking
don't
at
know,
the
my rap, my blood
youngest
boils
and
over
fastest
like,
star in
oh God, here
professional
goes. I
wrestling
lost all
today.
feeling from my head to my toes. You said some shit that I can't let go, so just stay tuned for the rest of the show. So have you ever felt betrayed? Switches how you see things, realize something needs change. Cause I know you got me fucked up, let me show you what's up. Cause enough is enough. I'll take a face full of pavement just to make a statement. I know there's no turning back. Oh God, adrenaline wasted, so mad I can taste it. I know there's no turning back. I'll do what it takes, I ain't making mistakes like that. I'll bleed on your face just to make you go take it back. I'll lose my shit, I go crazy when I'm mad. And now you gon' wish you was just a fuck up real bad.
Be the villain! And I have no problem at all, because I couldn't care less if you like me or not. I'm here for success, and there's no one more successful than Grayson Waller.
Yeah! Let me talk to you! War game.
What is up, everyone, here on the Heel of the Ring podcast on the PX Sport Jedi Network. It is a review of yesterday, the 11th. Today is the 11th of January, but we're reviewing the events on January 10th of 2023, when we're going to call it on the name of the title, Toxic Tuesday, in more ways than one in the world of wrestling. But before I go any further, I want to say good afternoon to my partner here, Jay. Salute, Jay.
Hello, salute to everybody joining here today. Let's talk about some NXT and some other news that came out about wrestling.
Yes, let's go right into it. I'm going to break down. Let's go with the elephant in the room, the one of the biggest story in wrestling that hit here in 2023, and it is the engagement of Ricochet to Samantha Irvin. So Ricochet getting engaged early here in 2023. Salute to him. Big time news.
Yeah, congratulations to Ricochet and Samantha. You guys are gonna make a lot of moments here, and not only in WWE but outside in your real life, world. But congratulations.
Absolutely, Orlando residents both. So it's good to see that they will be having there. Hopefully, So hopefully they are continue to have a wonderful relationship for many, 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 many years. So that is one of the biggest news in wrestling this year. I wonder if anything else besides this the NXT new has gone by. I wonder if anything. Well, let's not be facetious. Jay, as we, of course, everyone that watches us on the Heel of the Ring podcast, myself and Jay, as well as you see, Justin, producer Pete, and others go, and Tribal Chief Terrence, we all go and we participate. We go every Tuesday to the NXT universe, to the Performance Center. We go, and while we are on our way to Performance Center on the bus, we get the tweet, we get the news that WWE CFO, co-CFO Stephanie McMahon resigns just days after Vince McMahon gets back on the board and tries to return to the chairman of WWE. That was a lot of shocking, especially right before a big New Year's Evil's event for NXT. I know everyone was buzzing and with like, whoa, uncertainty, but that news shocked me, Jay.
Yeah, it definitely did. When I went on Twitter, after I got off the bus and got on my seat, I went on Twitter and I saw that Stephanie McMahon resigned from being co-CEO with Nick Khan, and now Nick Khan's in charge, and Vince McMahon is back as executive chief. What was he again?
He is chairman of the board of directors.
Chairman of the board. Okay. Yeah, so it was very shocking, and with all the news going on from just this past week, man, it's a lot to handle. It's forgetting 2023. Vince McMahon's back, and Stephanie McMahon resigns from co-CEO along with Nick Khan. So this is just
right.
It's a hard time right now, 2023. But I hope we can get right through this and hopefully just make something better of this.
Right, and we'll break into more details that came after the Stephanie McMahon announcement of her resignation. And we'll get to that, but we'll keep the timeline in order. But one thing about Stephanie McMahon that was mentioned and mentioned by publicly and by a lot of insiders, she is very well liked. Don't let her gimmick or her persona that she had when she was part of the WWE on the on air talent, but behind backstage, nothing but great things I mentioned about her, both with all wrestlers, former and current superstars, even some that are not on the company. Um, when it comes to Stephanie McMahon and Paul Levesque, aka Triple H, they are well beloved in the wrestling community in the world. A young lady who grew up in the business, literally, just got raised, and she knows the ins and out. Very well liked, very well missed. A pioneer, not just that, as a female CFO, um, moving forward with all the revolutionary things that she did, not just for women's wrestling, but for wrestling in general. The her attributes there. Of course, she says she's going to take a leave of absence, but then she resigned. Hopefully, some way, somehow, it comes to full circle where she could return to the business, because the wrestling business could use a pioneer and a smart woman, second or third, you can actually say fourth generation into the business of Stephanie McMahon, and hopefully, some way, some capacity, if it's not with the WWE, in some form in this sports entertainment, she could someday come back, and if not, she left a big imprint for Stephanie McMahon going forward.
Yes, 100%. I agree with you. Hopefully, she does come back, because she had a huge impact in WWE with the women and everybody backstage as well. From me, I want to say thank you, Stephanie, for everything you've done for the past few months. And hopefully you can come back maybe in the future when everything is settled and calmed down.
Well, absolutely. So we'll be getting more into depth of more news and rumors. So we're trying to stay everything chronologically in order from 6 o'clock in the evening and right into 7 o'clock. Of course, we go to Performance Center each and every Tuesday, and we try to go as much as possible to go watch the NXT performance show, especially New Year's Evil, and it delivered. New Year's Evil had its event. It was a little bit. We felt a little uncertain because we didn't know how the performers were gonna react. If it was a little bit how morale was, and so forth, etc. Let me go right to you, JJ. I actually drawing a blank of what was the level up matches. I know they were. I totally just drew a blank of that's how much the morale was. Everybody, the first hour of the level up were mostly just refreshing and checking the Twitter.
Oh, yeah. Now that you think about it, I really just blanked about it.
Correct.
Damn. Yeah, because that all that news hit while we were filming Level Up, and it started everybody started getting it as soon as Level Up hit, because everybody got it, but then everybody really didn't see it until it happened, until we actually sat down. And so now that I think about it, yeah, that I don't remember what Level Up was. I have to watch it.
We had yes, of course. Please watch it Friday night at 10 p.m. on the Peacock. You had a match with Von Wagner, and you had against a young debuting. I believe it's Omar. His name was Omari.
No, that's not. It's not. He was not his debut. This is his third match. This was his third match.
That first time I seen him, I don't recall seeing him.
He tagged with Montana.
Oh, okay, that's the first. I don't recall, but I guess this is the first time I see him in a singles match against Von Wagner, and this wasn't a hard-hitting match. It was the two guys going at it. It was rough. If you like strong match with two big guys there going at it, you check it out on Friday on Peacock. That was a pretty good match there. We're not going to give any spoilers, just going to tell you to watch it there as we get ready for our New Year's Evil. And don't forget to level up always before the event. But New Year's Evil had a lot of buzz going in here. You have Bron Breakker taking on Grayson Waller. You had Tony D'Angelo taking on Dijak. You also had the tag team gauntlet. You had the Creed brothers taking on Indushay. But we started off with right off the bell, we get a Chase U promo in the back. Chase U, talking about New Year's Evil and hyping up the show, and opens up with Tony D'Angelo taking Dijak on. In This was a pretty good match to start off the New Year's Evil view. What's your thoughts there, Jay?
It was an amazing match, and I had to use the bathroom for level up, so I really didn't see the opening contest with the stairs and all that stuff. But I did end up coming back to when Dijak threw Tony into Stacks, and then he handcuffed Stacks to the rope, and it was just this match actually delivered. It all the hype around this match, all the hype around and the North American Championship with Wes Lee, you have Tony D'Angelo, Dijak, Stacks. I think this is setting up for what is going to be an amazing Fatal 4-Way, because we saw Stacks and Tony really didn't get along in that match at the end before Dijak beat Tony. So it was, possibly a Fatal 4-Way. We'll never know. We'll just have to wait and see, and I hope this sets up a big match for Vengeance Day.
Yeah, I'm gonna disagree with the Fatal 4-Way aspect, due to the fact. By the way, Wes Lee was in commentary along with Booker T and Vic Joseph. They were, of course, this is a number one contenders match for the North American title, and during that spot there, one of the big spots, like you mentioned, Dijak does handcuff Stacks into the ring post, but Stacks was about to take a big boot from Dijak, and Tony kind of said no. He goes, "But I work for you, boss." "No, you don't work for me. You're family." And he took and of course, Dijak gets the victory, gets the boot on Tony D'Angelo, which I thought was a big significant victory. But that action there, it doesn't kind of show me that Stacks is going to want to betray Tony. And more of a loyalty, what Tony was like, unless if he finds as a sign of weakness, maybe you got something there, Jay, and maybe you do got something, but I don't know. I don't think Stacks is ready to run a family on his own. That's why I don't think he will separate from Tony. That's, I could see in a world where your point makes a little sense there, or makes sense, and I can see where you're going with that storyline. But in other words, then Tony's back solo again. What kind of a family running are you if you're going to be alone again, solo act? So I don't know. I'm conflicted on that one.
Hey, listen, anything can happen in the WWE with a bunch of news happening today that we'll get to later on in the show. But this match, it was decent. It was all right. It was a good way to start New Year's Evil. So yeah.
Yeah, it was definitely a good way to start there. The crowd into it. So now we have the number one contender, Dijak, now against Wes Lee. Possibly, don't know if that's going to be for Vengeance Day or that's going to be following next week. They didn't say. It'll be interesting to see when Dijak calls his shot for that North American title. So we go back here. We get a promo in the back. We see Toxic Attraction, Gigi Dolan and Jace Jane explaining no matter who wins tonight, it's going to be a toxic win. So I don't know if they kind of tipped it along. We don't want to give you a spoiler, but telling you that if they both end up at the end, they both win. It's kind of true, but it raised the question or the eyebrow. What happens if these two ladies were the last two in that battle royal? Will they go at it? Will we have the finger of doom that we saw Jarrett and Hogan, many years ago? It was interesting to see that there with these two ladies, because of course they're trying to mend or avenge the Mandy loss of the title to Roxanne Perez.
Yes, definitely. And this whole situation with Toxic Attraction and Roxanne Perez now having to do with the Battle Royal, you have to go into do with 18 other females in the ring, just to get a shot at Roxanne Perez at Vengeance Day. I didn't know how it was going to work out at the end of the Battle Royal that you guys will talk about later at the end of the show, because it was the main event. It got me thinking, how is this all going to play out? Because most Battle Royals, if people are teaming in and it's the last, they really don't, it's not really like something that we see every Battle Royal that we have. With the Royal Rumble, we don't really see that much teams getting to the end and actually making it to the final two. So it was a very, very weird way thinking about it. So yeah.
So they planted a seed there if there were the last two remaining females, what will go on. They planted a seed there. We didn't know, we don't know, and we have to stay in for that battle royal. But we get our second match of the night. We finally gonna get this. This is a grudge match that's been brewing. That with Indashir, of course, and the Creed brothers. You get the Creed brothers in the ring, cannot wait to get their hands on Indashir. You see them week after week. They come out and there's some blood, some tension. Finally, you get the hit new Indashir music hits. Out comes Sangha, and Sangha says he won't be. Veer is not here tonight, so he cannot, and it was kind of disappointing there for them. And especially the Creed, and he goes, "No, you talk about respect. Veer doesn't even respect us to come here. We want to fight." And out of nowhere, here comes Jinder Mahal, the former WWE heavyweight champion. And tell me what happened there.
Yes, so Sangha came into the ring, on the apron, and wanting to have a 2-on-1 handicap match. But, Creed brothers and they say, no, we're not fighting somebody who has no respect to even show up or even come to the PC. And then out comes Jinder Mahal from the back and attacks both Brutus and Julius, and they're just attacking them. Sets up a match later that night. So, yeah, no contest.
Yes, that match gets thrown out there. And, of course, we see in the back where Sangha gets and Valentina goes. And, you saw that Julissa and Valentina formed a real strong bond with Sangha. And Sangha, ever since Veer Mahan has come to to NXT, been changed his ways. Or, more of a fight for your own self. And, of course, you see Elektra Lopez getting in Valentina and tell her that she needs to look out for her own self and worry about the battle royal. So it is interesting there, planting that seed, that heartbreak for Valentina with Sangha, and Sangha that I find Sanga's like conflicted with, like, is he gonna be a heel or a tweener? He's like, what does Veer Mahan and now with Jinder Mahal have that kind of take this gentle giant and wants to kind of turn him kind of heel? Interesting there. There's a storyline within a storyline when it comes to Indashir.
Yes, and this is the great way to have a long-term booking. Possibly see Valentina be a manager to Indashir and Jinder Mahal. Maybe. You never know. Things could always happen in the WWE. She can always, cost them a match, cost them title matches. This is just setting up for a long-term booking. It's going to go a long way, and it's going to at the end of the storyline, it's all going to make sense, and we'll just have to wait and see what happens at the end of the story.
Indeed. And then, of course, you see backstage, you see Julius storms out of the training room demanding a match and looking for a match with Jinder Mahal that evening. And of course, Ivy now is trying to talk them down not to have a match. And I know he tells them, don't you have a battle royal that you got to win? He goes, I do. Well, I got a match that I got to try to get booked. So Julius is looking out for revenge there for Brutus. Brutus was brutally attacked and slammed against the stairs, the steel stairs prior to that attack or that no contest. So we shall see if Julius gets his match with Jinder Mahal. But then we get to the next match here, which is the Tag Team Gauntlet. So the Tag Team Gauntlet got us a little bit excited here because, of course, you see Pretty Deadly, and they want another crack at their NXT tag titles from the New Day, and New Day put some obstacles. If you go out there and you win the Gauntlet, 3-team Tag Team Gauntlet, you will be the number one contenders, and we will give you your shot. So, of course, Elton Prince and Kate Wilson, a.k.a. Pretty Deadly, they said, let's do it. So they tried to put a fast one on us. Now, out of nowhere, we get a tag team. The first tag team of the Gauntlet comes out and hit the music from the 90s. It is the Rockers come out. But of course,
these wrong team. Wrong Rockers there.
Jobbers. some local enhanced talent from the indies came out to the old rockers music of Shawn Michaels and Marty Jannetty. Like, oh, look at this. And of course, Pretty Deadly's disposed of them immediately. I don't even think the partner even got in. He just got hit off the apron and he just hang out in the apron while his partner, the other one, got pinned. But out comes New Day and says, no, 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 that's not what we agreed to. We don't know. You're gonna fight top premium tag teams in NXT, and they introduced, which I always said, and I still say it until this day, that is going to be the passing of the torch when New Day rings out none other than Malik Blade and Idris Enofe to take on Pretty Deadly, and these two competitors, they're all four men. This was a hell of a match, back and forth. One of the highlights of the match, me personally, is that frog splash that Malik did all the way across the ring. Please, if you have not watched, at least you're missing out on NXT, at least that match. Please watch that spot of the match. How far he flew. Malik flew across. I mean, and with some height. That was one of the awesome spots that I've seen in a while when it comes to a high flyer in NXT.
Yes, definitely. Idris and Malik are our future. They're the future of the tag division, and a lot of people are saying they're jobbers. No, guys, ladies and gentlemen, Idris and Malik, you're gonna have to get used to them because they're gonna be your future tag champs here down in NXT.
Indeed, they keep getting better and better. Their match, this was very exciting. That was one spot there where Idris Enofe had a Mandy Rose knee there. I was like, but you got to clean that up, pal. You just got to, that knee was just a little bit off. But when he went for that knee onto the face there, but hey, it happens. It is what it is there. But all in all, we get Pretty Deadly to get the victory though on a really fast pace, back and forth, hard hitting, and near fall finishes. Oh my God, when I thought he hit that frog splash, I don't know how Kit Wilson kicked out of that one. That was just it's like, whoa, that but. It is, Pretty Deadly picks up the victory, and they're one team away actually, to eliminated to getting that number one contendership. So outcome, who was the next team that came out that was supposed to come out?
So New Day came out saying that there's one more team to challenge Pretty Deadly in this gauntlet, and it was none other than Jensen and Briggs, but unfortunately something happened to them backstage. We got to look backstage, and they were attacked. They were backstage attacked by none other than their next challengers, the Gallus Boys. The Gallus Boys music hits, NXT crowd goes crazy, and they come in the ring. And Kevin, tell them exactly what happened.
It was brutal. They went in there hard hitting the way Gallus Boys know how to do. Good job that Gallus Boys has returned back to NXT. They get their visa situation cleared. Now they're able to be full time in NXT now. You're going to see them there. They actually get hit Pretty Deadly with their finisher. They get the victory. They are now the number one contenders, Gallus. And what I want to say was, good job on the NXT universe to welcome them back. When they first arrived to NXT, they did not get over. They were serenaded with a lot of boos, not liked, and them going away and their hard-hitting match, that bar fight they had with Jensen and Brooks. Now when they return, we really appreciate that hard-hitting tag team, brute, and you could say British style, European style, strong fighting that we'd like to see in NXT, and we were excited to see them get that victory. I love the end when they stand in front of New Day. Okay, we're next. And all I can think of, Jay, there is New Day, Brawling Brutes, but NXT version. I was like, I want some more. Yes, boy, I want more.
Yes, definitely. And you guys, if you guys don't know who Gallus Boys is, check them out. They're a really hard-hitting team, and they're possibly going to be your new tag champs because, they just destroyed Pretty Deadly in the ring, and New Day had somewhat of a little tough time with New Day, so we could possibly see new tag champs, possibly at Vengeance Day, or even on a random episode of NXT. We'll just have to wait and see for that.
And just to let you know, we only had 2 out of the 3 from Gallus Boys. Yeah, Mark Coffey and Wolfgang is usually a third, another Coffee brother. There, it's a 3-man team. So look for the other partner to come soon. The other Coffee brother to return, also as well. So, but I like to see that setup, that match, and between Pretty Deadly, actually Gallus Boys and the New Day. What's next for Pretty Deadly? We saw them debut on the main roster, and will they be called up? Will they now, try to get themselves inserted by hook or crook in a triple threat match? This is a way you could also protect the New Day, with a triple threat. You could bring them in and get in. If they drop the tag team titles, they don't have to be pinned. They could, in a triple threat ladder match, something different, because we'll find, Vengeance Day is coming up, and we need to find out what kind of stipulations and matches we're going to see for that, to build for that card. So you got a couple of weeks to build for it, especially when they're not going to be in Orlando in the Performance Center. They're taking this outside. So a premium live event away on the road, and they have to try to build, although they're doing very well in ticket sales. They almost sold out, near to sold out capacity. But if you could generate even more of a grander of a buzz, if you put kind of matches or stipulations that we want to, it's a must watch. So it'll be interesting to see what they'll do going in the future for this build up for this card. Now, the next item of business there, Jay, was a championship match for the NXT heavyweight champion. So it was so this is the transition hour, the 9 o'clock hour. We started off with which some of us thought might have been the main event. Grayson Waller taking on Bron Breakker. 9 o'clock spot. I was like, okay. So once again, they're making the ladies be a main event. I love that. There's nothing wrong with that. Who doesn't say that WWE promote their women? And now for them to have that main event spot, I loved it there. I know a lot of people wanted to see the Bron and Grayson, but I was okay with it. I was excited for that, to see that at the 9 o'clock hour.
Yeah, I was excited for the match too. And it happened at 9 o'clock. I was like, okay, something's gonna happen, something's gonna go wrong, or possibly something's gonna interfere. Someone's gonna come to the ring and interfere with the match. But it doesn't happen. And kudos to the women that main evented on New Year's Eve. This is a great thing to do. Have the women main event, not always have the men main event. The women are as equal as the men, so there's nothing wrong with women main eventing a live event.
Especially that women's division in NXT is stacked, but we'll get to that in a second. We'll go talk about this Bron Breakker, Grayson Waller match. The crowd, you could say 50-50, back and forth with Waller, Bron Breakker chant, or I could even say 55-45. Grayson Waller to Bron Breakker. There was, and the crowd bought it. They chanted. We had Let's Go Breakker. We had the Waller back and forth. I really loved it. You saw Waller trying to do his normal get into the head of Bron. Bron still using his power, his strength back and forth in this match. One thing I did notice when I saw Grayson Waller come out, he was very serious. I don't know if he was focused in the zone or he was mad, irate. And when I looked at that demeanor, I was like, this is usually, he likes to zing or heckle a fan before he actually gets in the ring, with his goofy smile, which I love that too. But I said, all right, maybe he's focused tonight because he knows what's at stake here for that title. But all in all, the match was a back and forth. There was a couple spots in the match where Bron Breakker was pushed into the turnbuckle and the middle rope just snapped all around the ring. I left for the officials to come in, or a bunch of team workers, crew members, to try to get that rope fixed. And the guys this battle was such a grudge match. They kept fighting and wrestling even despite fixing the ring, and they kept fighting in and outside the ring. And wow, these guys really wanted a piece of themselves, of one another there, Jay.
Yeah, they definitely did. And when Grayson came out, and he looked serious, I was like, this is not the Grayson that I see every week. It's either something's gonna happen, he's gonna win the title, or it's something's gonna happen that pissed him off that he found out that was gonna happen. And here it goes. He throws Bron into the middle rope, and the ropes breaks. They fixed it. He goes up for a move later on in the match, and it just collapsed, and then he gets counted out. And it was just a horrible way to end, the match, but a good way to book it, because now we're getting something that you will hear about later on in the show that was announced at the end, that sets up for another match in the future. But all in all, this was a good match, hard hitting, crowd loved it, I loved it, but the ending kind of got me a little confused of like why are they doing that?
This is not the first time that has happened. That's happened back. This is the second. They used that same gimmick with the rope many years ago. I believe in 2006, if I'm not mistaken. They had that. I had the competitors in my head. It was a match there as well. It resulted the same way. So this is the second time they used that. I believe Shawn Michaels was in that match, by the way. I believe it was a Shawn Michaels match. And that was the same kind of result. The disqualification, not disqualification, the count out there. Waller just fell awkwardly trying to go for the middle rope. It looked kind of funky or like, whoa, is this? And kudos to the Twitter. They like, this was a match that happened so and so, and I go, yeah, you know what? I remember that now. Thank you for remembering my memory there to refresh it. And then it made sense after I saw it on Twitter, but while I was watching, I kind of felt a little embarrassed. It's like, what is this? Is this amateur hour? You can't fix these ropes. You can't get this going on. What's going on? This is not, they weren't like there was. I understand if it was the big guys going at it, and you get that powerful slam, but this is Bron and Waller. They weren't really whipping the turnbuckles and so forth, but it's part of the angle of the storyline there, which again we'll set up for what we see later on, because everyone in the arena after that was over, even Bron himself was upset. I didn't want to win like this. I didn't want this here. People were chanting, this is BS. They didn't like the result. It was very loud, and rightfully so. I understand we were invested to see a winner, an outcome. If either way, by hook or crook, somebody would have got the win, not the count out or the broke of the turnbuckle. I understand that, Jay, and I understand now after seeing that was a gimmick or a storyline that they recycled. I get it.
Yeah, now that I see it, because at the time that it happened, I was really pissed off. I was like, even though Grayson didn't win, I was fine if Grayson lost the match via pinfall. I was fine with that. But the way the match ended, it got me a little mad, and I was like, you know what? At this point, I don't even want to watch. I just don't even want to continue watching the show, because if this crap happens more and more often, it's just not gonna end well for me at all. But now that I look at it, yeah, it's definitely a storyline telling things so we can have a big match later on next month, I would say. But yeah, I was like, I told Evan, I was like, yo, what the heck is this? This felt like, I don't want to be like rude or like that. It felt like a Vince McMahon booking, because the news came out, Stephanie McMahon resigned, Vince McMahon's back, and I was like, oh god, this feels like a Vince McMahon booking match. But now that you brought up maybe Shawn Michaels was in the last match that this happened, now it felt like Shawn Michaels booked it himself. That I think this is oh my god. I still can't get over it.
I liked it personally. I was so heel, because normally, I go to my section with Mr. Met. We sit in our nice section, we cheer, we have fun, and then out of all day, the Waller Hive decides they want to take over. They want to do a hostile takeover on our territory, and the Waller Hive decides they want to sit there and be snarky. And when that happened, I go, good. You guys don't deserve to see Waller hoist the title here tonight. You know what? And I'm going to say it like totally heel fashion. I'm happy. I'm glad Bron Breakker won by the count out. Eventually, he will drop the title. I believe so. If they wrestled again, in the near future, I probably see Bron Breakker, and I'm a big Bron Breakker fan. I'm one of the only few that really enjoys to see him, and I know I love the fact that when he comes, he goes up those stairs, he makes eye contact to me and my wife. Yep, your cheering section is here, buddy. We're here for you, buddy. And I love it. He does acknowledge us. Makes the contact with Gary, and Braun is our guy. I don't hide from it, and I'm glad that the Waller section did the Waller group for being the Hive for being so obnoxious, or so I'm watching what you're doing. I'm glad you guys didn't see your guy win. So now you're gonna have to go to North Carolina if they're to fight in North Carolina or in Stand and Deliver, and you're gonna go. You're gonna have to pay to watch it. Free lunch is over for you guys. So good. So we move on from there. From that, I just wanted to express myself there with it. Um, we get a countdown. I know Year's Evil, and of course, it's 10 days after the New Year's, and they're almost at that threshold where, like Larry Davis said, it's already 10 days. Enough with the Happy New Year crap. But we'll get a little slide there. We get a countdown to a blonde vixen, and out comes a repackaged Tiffany Stratton. Well, not repackaged. Well, that's not what Dr. Miami says. But all in all, Tiffany Stratton comes out. Um, I couldn't understand her. I don't know if it's the microphone PA system in NXT or what. It just all I'm hearing in the background. I'm a Barbie girl. It's fantastic. I just kept hearing that song in the back.
Okay. Yeah, no, it was no, the mic to me it was very low. It was like I couldn't hear anything. Maybe it was the crowd was a little too like talkative. Something. I couldn't really hear but I was just thinking of like what the hell, cuz that happened right after the Grayson Waller match and I was still sitting there with my arms crossed and I was like I don't even want to listen to her. So, but welcome back, Tiffany. We all kind of missed you, but maybe next women's champion. Never know.
I said it. I think she's the one that's going to take the title away from Roxanne Perez when that time comes. I think Roxanne, and I'm saying that doesn't have to be next week. It doesn't have to be next Premium Live event. But I think the next woman that holds the NXT title will be Tiffany Stratton, in my opinion. I think she just got to fit what they look for as a women's champion there going forward with Tiffany. But good to see her back. Hopefully she's fully healed, ready to get in that ring. I'm still remembering that last match with Wendy Chu. That was a phenomenal match that she had before she went and had visit Mr. Dr. Miami and got her surgeries. But she had a good match with Wendy Chu. It was a good lights out match. A little bit. It was extremely hardcore. That's when she put the cornrows in and she went at it with Wendy Chu. That was a good match. And if we get more of that Tiffany Stratton back, that will be a hell of a asset to the WWE, to an NXT women's division, and possibly women's champion run if she gets it. So I'm hoping that that's the Tiffany Stratton we get, which I don't see why not. She has it, she brings it there. Next up, we'll have a pretty old-fashioned wrestling match. We saw this building up a couple weeks ago. It was challenged Charlie Dempsey taking on Hank Walker, the protege now of Drew Gulak. So Gulak brings his protege out, Charlie Dempsey, Hank Walker, and it was a technical match. What was your, I know some people don't like that kind of match there. They want the hard hitting, especially Hank Walker, who's, he's a big 6'4" type of guy, big guy there taking on, Charlie Dempsey. I mean, I love Charlie Dempsey. Everyone knows he's gonna be the, another star here in NXT in 2023. The way he wrestles and the way he just got something there, like an it factor. I like the match there with all the stretching and all the different maneuvers. If this is classic wrestling.
Yeah, to be honest with you, I actually missed the match. I wanted to see the match. Don't get me wrong. It's not because I wanted to use the bathroom. It was before their entrances, during commercial break. I went to the bathroom and there was a line for the bathroom, so I really couldn't. I missed the match. I'm gonna rewatch it as soon as it goes live on TV and as soon as it goes on demand. I'm gonna rewatch it. I missed the match. I really wish I watched the match because I got back at the end of the match and I saw that Hank Walker tapped out. So yeah, but I talked to Brandy. I did talk to Brandy next to me, and she said it was a good match, and that her favorite won the match. So, yeah, at least you get
Yeah,
Charlie Dempsey on top.
he put him on some really abdominal, some stretches there, and some really good wrestling match there. The Walker just totally tapped out. A good ring in mat performance, and it was just good. Remember, always go with a pie. We have a saying when when pie derecho pa'lante. That means that's why you don't have to go to the bathroom so much. So just let you know that there.
Well, I drank too much. Brandy kept going up the stairs to go get the water, and you saw I had 6 water bottles on the floor before that match, and I drank them all. I had to use the bathroom. I couldn't hold it. I wanted to hold it for the match to save
You
it for
gotta
the break.
you gotta lay off the White Castles, man. So,
Oh my god.
so we see a promo in the back. Carmelo Hayes mocking Apollo Crews, cutting that promo in that diner. I want to know where the hell is that diner at? Because we don't have no diners in Orlando. Well, it is in Orlando because you see, not in Orlando, it's in Florida because you see the palm trees and stuff like that. So I'm believing it's probably somewhere in Brevard County.
Miami. Maybe
You think it's
Miami. I think it's
looks like
Miami.
I thought I saw something with like the Space Coast. I thought I saw something. To me, it's like Cocoa. Cocoa Titusville area. I don't think it was down Miami, dude.
I don't know.
Or I could be wrong. There, it could be.
I want to know where the diner is. That's where we were talking while all that happened. We're always like, they're always at this diner. I wonder where this diner is, and they're probably making a lot of money having these people here.
and filming there. It must be. It's probably one of the Nasty Boys' diner or something. Who knows?
God.
Brian Knox or something. Brian Knox's diner or something. I don't know. I'm just throwing a random name out there. That
It's a diner.
Yeah, it's just a diner there. But you see them mocking there. I love the fact that Trick Williams. It's like I don't know how you could breathe with the mask, making fun out of Axiom. Trick Williams is just a golden treasure with comedy. And a good and just. And he doesn't try to. It just does it naturally. Phenomenal there, and of course, Carmelo Hayes just a breakout star. Get ready for that explosion for 2023 for him. And no matter if it's here in NXT or the main roster, he's just ready to go. He just, it's just shining up the diamond because he's ready. He's just ready to blossom there. But we get another promo in the back. Alba Fire confronts Soruka. So trying to push a little bit of rivalry. I like the back and forth aggression in each other's face because it's giving that to that battle royal. Brandon Schultz. Salute, Brandon.
Salute, Brandon. How are you?
And yeah, so I like that there. I like that back and forth with Soruka. Soruka is another one who's about to explode here in the women's division in NXT.
Yes, definitely. And, Soruka is the future of NXT in the women's division. And she's doing a phenomenal job on Level Up, doing, all her matches that she's doing. And when she shows up on the main show, she's doing also a phenomenal job. But before we get to the next thing, you kind of missed something.
What's that?
Someone's returning next week.
Yes,
you
indeed.
Missed. We got a little promo. We got a little video package of Tyler Bate. He is going to return next week. I can't wait. His visa, it's checked off. And we got Gallus Boys return. We got Tyler Bate, and we got Tiffany Stratton in one night. Wow, amazing! That's amazing.
Yes, Tyler Bates now. It's not just a temporary thing. He's now going to stay in NXT. Big strong boy back in NXT week after week. Possibly a run back at his title. We shall see. So we'll definitely, yes, we will be doing tonight's game, Brandon. Absolutely. And yes, so Tyler Bates returns back to NXT next week. Can't wait to see when he comes out. Who is he going to challenge? Who has the nerves to cut into his promo and be the new challenger for him? Wonder, it would be interesting to see who's daring enough. Maybe... there's so many of them. Maybe Von Wagner.
Hey, listen. Anybody and everybody should challenge Tyler Bate. Let everybody at NXT here show Tyler Bate what they're made of. And then Tyler Bate shows them how of a big, strong boy he really is, because he is very talented in the ring. If you guys don't know who Tyler Bate is, he's from NXT UK. Well, former NXT UK, future NXT Europe. That's happening later this year. And he's an amazing star. He's talented in the ring. He also had a match against Bron Breakker at Worlds Collide. And that was a heavy-hitting match, too, as well. You know,
match.
Jesus. Every match that he's in, it's just amazing. And he puts on a hell of a performance there for return. That's the thing. You'll challenge him? Good.
Evan Suarez wants to challenge him. Evan wants to get in the ring.
You want to challenge him?
The big strong boy.
Right.
Yes.
Next week. You go. Have fun.
So next up, we have a match here. He actually got a match here. It's going to be Jinder Mahal taking on Julius Creed. Now, this match here, I had it. Now, it wasn't the White Castle. I just had to go out. It's just, too much water. It's just, it's like, what? I can't have the White Castle. So I had to go to the restroom there. So, it's a good time here. I seen Jinder Mahal. I seen Julius.
It was an alright match. I mean, I wouldn't say it was like good enough match to be second to main event. I mean, I would have loved it to happen right then and there when he returned, than having it later on. But this match was an alright match. I was mostly looking at my phone on Twitter to see if any news was happening in the world of wrestling. So yeah. Well, I mean, I really didn't pay attention.
When I returned, I saw when Jinder Mahal got the pinfall on Julius. And he gets that victory, setting up, of course, a feud here with Diamond Mine and Indus. I don't know how many. Indus so far looks like it's going to be 3 deep. We also have, remember, there's also the possibility of Shanky running around as well. So they might go 4 deep. We don't know. We got to just stay tuned and see when in the share. And of course, Julius had a bloody mouth. It was hard hitting, with I believe it was an elbow to the cheek. But all in all, it was still a good hard hitting match there. We'll see what that goes with Monument Mine in this year. We also saw a backstage video from Anonymous. This NXT Anonymous, to me, it's just another name for pervert. Showing a video backstage of all Mesa in the locker room.
No. That was Scripps. That was Scripps with his thing, giving a note to Aura Mencha. That was that was in the locker room. Scripps there without the mask, giving the note to Aura Mencha's bag, his bag, letting him know he's coming for him. So maybe we'll see a Scripps versus Oro match, or possibly a team up. I really don't want that to happen, either of them. But hey.
So you're saying Anonymous is Scripps?
No, the anonymous person is. It could be a returning star, somebody from NXT UK, or it could be somebody just random. But they've been going out. This is the 3rd time we see a video of them. The first time it was Kaden and Katana in the medical room. Then we saw a video from of Sol Ruka and what it looks like Dana Brooke doing a TikTok from an NXT live event. And then yesterday, we saw a video of him creeping up on Scripps in the locker room, who was giving the note to Aura Mencha. So whoever this is, hey, listen, come out now. We need to see who you are, because enough with this posting on Twitter of all these things. It's enough.
But so you're thinking it's a male? I'm thinking it's a female.
I think it is a female, because it was 2 females. Now it's a male, because during when they were filming the females, it was a female talking. Maybe this is like a whole group, a faction, sanity. Maybe.
Never thought about that. Because we also see that on the main roster with Nikki Cross, hiding in either anytime Candice LeRae does an interview or something, or always lurking in the background on other people's interviews. Not to the point where it's hidden as AKA Anonymous, but it's kind of those kind of vibes that gives out there.
And she's also when Johnny, it's always Johnny and Candace that Nikki is kind of targeting here. Every time they show up to the arena, whatever arena they show up to, Nikki always posts a picture of her hiding behind something. She's posting a picture of them walking or sitting down. And also, we have a videos back every single week on Raw. Before Raw starts, when Byron Saxton always interviews Nikki Cross, and she's kind of going crazy, and she's talking to drawings that she drew on the wall, the floor, papers, wherever she draws it on. She's talking to someone, and maybe that someone is Sanity. Maybe she's talking to whoever.
As Jay has a little bit of technical. Okay, now you're back.
Sorry, yeah, no, I accidentally unplugged my mic. My fault. Yeah, so whoever it is, they're possibly NXT and _ anonymous. If you guys don't know, on Twitter, NXT _ anonymous. There's 3 videos posted on there of NXT stars that they don't know about.
All right, so we finally get to the main event here. It is a 20-woman for the number 1 contender battle royal. Now, of course, each lady got their introduction. They came in as they were introduced. Of course, in comes all 20 women. Zoe Stark, the final lady to make it her way to the ring. Who won the last battle royal herself. And boom, the ladies go at it. This on TV, getting us ready for the Royal Rumble, is a precursor to it. The ladies did a phenomenal job. And I looked at it, I was like, damn, they got 10 to 15 minutes to do a battle royal here. Do they have enough time? I thought it was perfect. The way they angled it, from different eliminations. One of the spots that I want to highlight was the Wendy Chu elimination, when Wendy lands on her pillow and Elektra Lopez at a total heel just pulls her out and just eliminates her. any of the eliminations that caught your eye that you enjoyed?
This wasn't really an elimination, but this was a sort of kind of trying to be eliminated. Sol Ruka got thrown over the top rope. She landed on her hands and did a handstand across to the side of the ring, and she got back into the match. What got me a little heated was the beginning. The first person got eliminated was Cora. Why? And then she came back again. She got eliminated, and then she jumped right next to me. She jumped over the barricade and got eliminated again. Oh, well, helped get Lyra off the ring posts.
So that was one of your memorable elimination.
Yeah.
All right. One of them was that me personally, in the beginning of it, the way Last Legend started off the battle royal, she would look like the big. She remind me of the like the Undertaker King type of elimination. She eliminated like two women, but with the choke slam and then overpowering. I'm like, please, use her with her power. She has that ability. Let her go out there and wreak havoc. I like that they teased it. They allowed her to go out there and be that kind of aggressive lady to eliminate women. And of course, eventually she got eliminated, but she missed with one of the kicks, one of her big boot, and they got her out. But I really like the way she looked, at least from the early part of the Battle Royal Last Legend. That I really enjoyed. I'm like, good. Sure, I want to see character development. Instead, it's not always the same usual suspects with the ladies. There's so many different ladies, and I like the fact they used her in that spot. It was something different and refreshing. Also, Elektra Lopez looked like a total badass out there as well, going back and forth, eliminating a couple of ladies herself before getting eliminated.
Yeah, definitely. This Women Battle Royal was awesome, and this is my first ever Battle Royal that I've ever watched in person, anywhere. Main roster, I've never watched the Battle Royal before in person, and it's kind of different in person than it is on TV, because like on TV they kind of show you certain spots to look at, because then there's going to be elimination or something's going to happen. But now I'm like sitting there like, who do I look at? What do I look at? Because there's so many people in the ring at once, and so many people are trying to get thrown over the top rope. This battle royal was pretty good, and the ending made no sense for my eye. But now that I think about it, it makes total sense. What's going to happen in the future for Vengeance Day, and the ending of the match. The last four, it was Toxic Attractions, JC, and GG. Who else was it?
Alba
Kind
Fire
of.
and Laura Valkyrie. Those are the
Okay.
final four ladies that were left in the ring. Of course, what I kind of had a head scratch because you had Alba Fire and Valkyrie going at it near the ropes, and with Toxic Attraction in the middle of the ring, where they could have just pushed them off and they would have been the last two ladies, but they still battled it out. They finally do eliminate both Alba and actually Alba gets eliminated by Valkyrie, but Valkyrie gets eliminated by Cora Jade, who comes back again and trying to get her revenge, and you're left with Gigi and Jace Jones. They actually, again, this is another finishing of of a Royal Rumble a few years ago. I believe it was Batista
John
when
Cena.
John Cena, when they both landed on the outside of the apron at the same time. So we were given co-winners of the battle royal here. Both Toxic Attraction will be taking on Gigi. Gigi and Jace taking on Roxanne Perez at Vengeance. Now, you're kind of giving us a little bit of a tease that maybe JC might turn on Gigi. Although you saw that when they battle royal, but Toxic Attraction, and they're such heels, they could overcome something like that. Because Gigi will say, I would have done the same thing, vice versa. So I like the way they're setting it up there. It's going to be a triple threat match. It'll be interesting to see how Roxanne comes through with this.
Yep. At the end of the match, Roxanne Perez does come out and holds up the championship, saying that I will see you at Vengeance Day. And we see kind of Gigi standing in the front a little more than both of the women standing together side by side. We see JC kind of in the back, a little lurking, and looking at Gigi, and in her eyes, it's just like she's like, "Yeah, I'm turning on you, and you better hope, and you better know it's coming to you." So possibly we'll see maybe next week or even at Vengeance Day. Gigi and JC are no longer Toxic Attraction. So all the rumors about Eva Marie and Chelsea Green being the managers, or even Sonya Deville being managers of Toxic Attraction, it kind of looks like it's not going to happen. But yeah, all in all, this whole show was a little bit of a dud. It wasn't really as exciting as I thought it would be. There were some spots where I was like questioning things. I was like, is this supposed to happen? Is this the right way to go? But at the end of the day, it's just storytelling. It's just a little live event to placeholder there to build up for Vengeance Day, February 4th on Peacock. Vengeance Day.
You see, this is the issue with the newer wrestling generation. They didn't like the event because they didn't recognize the storyline. Wrestling is a soap opera that wants to tell you the story long term for a payoff. The payoff is the premium live event. Yes, they put lipstick here on this Tuesday Night Pig, that's NXT, trying to give it a name of New Year's Evil, which was just a regular random Tuesday night showing. Now, why it wasn't so great? Because Grayson Waller didn't win the title like everybody wanted at that time. I granted. I believe that match with the Indus Creed, that I could have done without. Be honest with you, well, it is a random Tuesday. You could have put it there. There's some spots there, like you said, that were lackluster. Jay, I agree with you there, but that's what it was. It was we lost track. We thinking this was a premium. This was not a premium night event. I like the fact that we got back Gallus Boys. That was a good, and also no, like you said,
I popped.
Right.
I was excited for the Gallus Boys. That got me up from all the shenanigans that was happening, even online too, with Stephanie McMahon resigning from the role. That kind of got me a little happy. That was kind of like one of my highlight moments of that Tuesday, yesterday, was Gallus Boys returning and now facing the New Day at Vengeance Day or some random episode of NXT. possibly a triple tag team, like you said, along with Pretty Deadly. But I personally think Pretty Deadly are going to the main roster, and they're going to do some good things in the main roster. I can see them, not now. I don't see them now being tag champs, but I can see in the future, maybe next year, being tag champs.
Right, and of course you get a Tiffany Strand back, Tyler Bates back, Gallus Boy back. You're getting some new injection in the new year of some of the guys, some of the talent returning, but also setting up a storyline, because after that was done, if you're looking at your Twitter, Shawn Michaels tweet, I heard you, NXT Universe, I got some news. Before the show ends, before it goes off the air, I believe, because before we left the arena, we see Shawn Michaels sitting in his office with Bron Breakker and Grayson Waller, saying that this match was totally not good. We're going to bring this back in Vengeance, but it's going to be in a steel cage match. Now, wow. This is again. Now we have a lot of high stakes, no interference. Guys gonna get locked in a cage, no ropes to break or count out. It's pretty much we're gonna get a victory here. I liked it because now you're setting up for Vengeance, because it's a premium live event outside of Orlando, but it's gonna still be in a steel cage. That's why I think, Jay, I was telling you about the triple threat match. I think it's gonna be a triple threat match, but it's gonna be something that the few days are specialized. It's going to be a tables and ladders and chairs match, going for the NXT tag titles.
Yes, I think. Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I think Vengeance Day. I think NXT. What's going to happen for Vengeance Day is they're going to go all out for Vengeance Day, since it's kind of besides Stand and Deliver, it's their first show back on the road outside of the Performance Center, not including Stand and Deliver that happened this year in Texas. So I think they're going to go all out, and it's going to be an amazing event. Unfortunate that some of us can't go to the show. I wish I would have saw Vengeance Day in person, because that would have been amazing. But go ahead. Say what you were going to say.
No, that's fine. We have a steel cage match. We're gonna have a triple threat with the women when it comes to Toxic Attraction taking on Roxanne Perez for the world title. I believe it's going to be a TLC match. I think between Pretty Deadly, New Day, and the Gallus. All three are going to get bunched in there. That's going to be also fun, to see them in there. And also, unless if Brooks and Jensen gets involved somehow, where they want retaliation on the Gallus boys and say I didn't have my shot or my share to get part of the gauntlet to become a number one contender. Possibly they might add, it might be a fatal four-way tables, ladders, and chairs, just to add that even more of a pop and excitement to the crowd in North Carolina. So that's another one. So you might have a fatal four-way tag team let TLC. You're gonna probably have a triple threat North America title, because I don't think Tony D'Angelo is going to stay with his arms crossed against Dijak. Although Dijak did get the clean victory, but then you're going to probably have a one-on-one with Dijak taking on Wes Lee for that North American title. So maybe that might not be a specialty match. Maybe that might just stay as a pure match there, and possibly Gulak versus Charlie Dempsey. They're teasing that, and that's going to probably be like a NXT's version of a pure match, like the way our Ring of Honor usually have their pure matches. It'll be interesting to see how that goes. So it's shaping itself out to, and we didn't even talk about one of the most exciting champions in NXT, the women's tag team champions. They haven't built their competitor yet to take on the ladies. So Katana and Cadence, they have no one yet either. So look for this next few weeks for that storyline to start getting built. Who will take on now the ladies NXT tag team champions?
Yep, and they just hit the longest reigning tag champs in NXT history. So congratulations to Kaden and Katana. We'll just have to wait and see who their next competitors are gonna be. Maybe a build of a new tag team, a returning tag team, NXT UK tag team. Somebody's gonna come, and I think it has to do with NXT_Anonymous on Twitter. I think it is a faction. I really think it's gonna be a faction, and they're gonna be the next people to take out Kaden and Katana, or just have a match against them at Vengeance Day.
We shall see on that there. That's the NXT review. Now we have a few minutes here to talk about what transpired after the NXT New Year's Eve concluded. Now we're all there. We have to take our bus back. It was speculated by a lot of Twitter journalists, because they're Twitter journalists, and so-called wrestling rumors, that the WWE decided to sell to a Saudi Arabia group, and go public, from public to private now. And Chairman Vince McMahon was going to be running the show. Now, there's a lot of speculation, which now has come up 24 hours, or about 12 hours later. Let's be argument say 12 hours later. A lot of false to the rumors. Is there a offer or a number or negotiation for that? There, possibly that could be true. That could be true, but also you also see that Vince McMahon bought in J.P. Morgan, for financial banking, for all the physical part, the money to get all their books in order and all that to prepare. Is the WWE gonna be sold? Yes, it probably will. Is it gonna be the Saudi Arabia group? We don't know, but it's not that they have a deal in shake that it's eminent that it's going to be that group. It could be Amazon, it could be Disney, it could be Fox, it could be Comcast, it could be CNBC. There's so many different suitors to purchase the WWE, and I think it's going to be there. But in my personal opinion, when I can see why internet reporters thought about it was the Saudi Arabia group, especially when you see the CFO Stephanie McMahon resigns. Now, Stephanie McMahon being a female, and of course, I don't know if Saudi Arabia will want down have a female as a strong personality as a CFO in one of their own base company. I don't know. I'm just speculating again. I'm not familiar with their customs or their culture, or especially business wise, if they're willing to have Stephanie McMahon ahead of running a company that they own. So I'm just speculation why she might have resigned, and maybe you put two and two together, and maybe that's why, because they to sell there. But my opinion, Jay, before I give it to the floor to you, is if this was something that happened so quickly like that, there should be tampering, because McMahon was not allowed to make any business negotiations, was away from the company. It's about a week ago, maybe, and that means and for a company to sell so quickly, $1 billion company to sell so quickly, publicly traded, it doesn't happen overnight. These sales take so long because they got to go through. Of course, we saw some board of directors being removed. The ones that started the investigation on Vince McMahon with the allegations, they're no longer part of the board. They were removed and brought in favorable board members. Of course, McMahon won the vote unanimously, of course, and he's back on. So there's a lot of hidden pieces that we're not being told, and I don't think as a general public we're not going to be told the whole truth of what's going on in the WWE backstage or in corporate world. Before I even continue, because I want to get your thoughts in here, what's your assessment here with the way the Saudi Arabia possibilities, or what's your possible thoughts? Where you think WWE will be sold to?
I don't think WWE should be sold to the Saudi Arabia funds, to private funds. I honestly, it's going to look bad for the females, for the women wrestling, and some of our competitors from the male side. We have MVP Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, etc. Not able to wrestle because of their background, and some of them do not support the Saudi Arabia, what they believe in. So it's just. And Twitter went wild once they saw that the rumors going around that Saudi Arabia bought WWE, and I'm like, guys, in my head I fell for it a little bit, and then I fell back and I thought about it. I was like, guys, they said it takes 3 to 6 months to kind of have that transfer already done. Vince McMahon just came back last week, and I don't think it could be that fast to be sold. My theory is my thoughts on it. I think that WWE is going to be sold to Amazon or Comcast. Those are the two names that I think are going to one of them are going to buy WWE out, and we're going to get possibly some uncensored WWE, possibly Netflix too. That could be great too. But honestly, my thoughts: I don't want Saudi Arabia funds to buy WWE at all.
It's gonna be a little bit of everything. I'm gonna be the devil's advocate for a moment when it comes to why if the WWE goes to Saudi Arabia. One thing is the way they have Live Golf, the way they run. They bought, I believe, one of the English premier football clubs. They didn't interfere. They let the CFOs, the people in part to run the football, the soccer, the way they're supposed to. Son. They just want to invest their money, make money, and not impose. And they'll fund it financially in order to make money, to make their money multiply. And I'm thinking Vince McMahon wants to take control back of his company with them just, I'll make you money, just back me up, pal. And I'll make the money. I'll run it the way I've done it. And these Saudi Arabia, the people in charge of the Saudi Arabia group funding, they love the way Vince McMahon. They revere Vince McMahon. He's a billionaire, self-made billionaire, of course, by hook or crook. Whatever we could be here arguing for hours. They know that he's a businessman. It's about the business, making money, and that's what these guys. They don't care. They just want to make a profit, make money, and McMahon keeping it private doesn't have to answer no one and so forth. Maybe that's a ploy of him getting it back. Now, what does that mean? How is that a positive? McMahon could just be a total McMahon and go out there and sign and crush All Elite Wrestling with the money. I know I say, well, guys aren't going to want to come wrestle for WWE because Vince is back in charge. Yeah, but when you have a Saudi Arabia that has a lot of money with that will back up you, and they're not going to question you. They're just going to say, here's the money and do what you just make me money. And McMahon puts out these contracts to all these wrestlers from All Elite that are available and just over. I don't think the Khan group could match a lot of these free agent wrestlers, and it's going to go the same way. Some of these guys are going to leave out of WWE. Oh, that's fine, but McMahon, you don't think he'll sign some of those guys? There's a saying: money talks, bullshit walks, and especially when you see this money that they give them, I don't think a lot of people don't. Well, I'm just going to get paid. I'm just going to do my job. I don't have to worry about them. And their high horse goes to go get water or fetch hay while they're going to go make that money. So I'm that's why I'm going to be the other advocate of it. I think if they were to back up McMahon, that's what I think McMahon's going to do. He's going to go out there to crush All Elite and just leave that last hurrah. I'm still the king of all wrestling here. I sign everyone. I crush all my opponents. I actually crushed cancel culture. I crushed All Elite Wrestling on my way out, and he's just an egomaniac. That's who he is. That's just my opinion. But like you said, I know there's been reports that some of the talent, if this were to come down, if it was true, or if this comes public or announced, for sure that the Saudi group does own WWE, there's going to be talents that are going to walk out. They're already going to say, they're going to walk out. They're going to turn in their resignation and they're going to leave. I'm not speculating any names, or we shouldn't, because we don't know for sure. Like I said, money talk, BS walks. But there's a few that have been off the record or kind of saying that they will leave. They will walk, and that's a shame. Wrestling when now with the last 6 months was very exciting, both All Elite Wrestling as well as WWE, Impact Wrestling, New Japan Wrestling, Noah, Pro Wrestling Noah, GCMLW, GCW. They were wrestling is in a good place with the talent and that's available. But if this politics and these nonsense start affecting it, it's not going to be pleasantable to watch.
Yeah, I agree with you. And We also got some new signings too. To kind of go a little bit off topic, we got a new signing from a former New Japan Pro Wrestling strong talent. Carl Fredericks signs with WWE, and will be on the NXT brand. Kev, what are your thoughts on Carl Fredericks signing with WWE and coming to NXT?
Well, we're gonna get ready to see some more of him, of the New Japan Wrestling Strong, in NXT. Now we have Triple A Wrestling star in NXT. I especially now that that's why this is very important. We will want to keep Paul Levesque, Triple H, still ahead of creative. Don't and let him stay there with talent acquisition as well, because he's bringing these different open mindset to allow these different wrestlers to come to WWE, want to come here and bring their different style. You always don't have to need the same type of matches. I like with the Japanese strong matches at times with the luchador, high flying talents, and you bring different matches. It also calculates your audience. You're feeding a little bit of everything to the audience, because if you're gonna have nothing but a bunch of ring mat technicians, you're not gonna have any high flying or any you're gonna be like, oh, and when you see it from another product, you're like, oh, I like this because there's this guy does a 450 splash. Or if you have too much with, like they say, gymnastics, when you're gonna miss some of the pure wrestling, and you need a balance. The point is, in just in life as well as wrestling, you need a balance. And I like the fact that he's thinking outside the box, bringing different balance into the WWE. Hopefully, this doesn't the power. They don't neuter him, where he could continue to have his imprint all over it, and still keep McMahon as if McMahon is back in, we can't do nothing about it no more, guys. If he's back, let him be a consultant. I pray that he's just there to make money, to do the moves, sell it, make a money, get his pockets fat, and let the guys, whoever he's in place now, continue to run the way they want it without, and just be a consultant. Be a consultant. You want to be an on-air persona to make an appearance and at a Rumble, whatever. Who doesn't like a McMahon stupidity when he comes out? Get it together, pal. We love. I still, I laugh. I still play some of the clips, and I still crack up. We did it before we came on the air. He's hilarious, but he's without him there is none of this. But the point is, I hope he has the realization that he's already 77 years old. Let the creative do the creative. Be a consultant. Enjoy it. If you want to be part of it, yes, but don't. It doesn't have to revolve around him. A good leader knows how to delegate, especially at an elder age. Delegate and allow others to flourish and just hit back and sip the good wine and just relax there. That's all we ask for Vince if he's returning. Personally, me, if he's back, just sit back and enjoy it. Like I said, let it be enjoy it. Trip what you got, go for it. I like it. I like the idea, and personally, we'll see what happens. But knowing him, that he's such a crazy maniac, has to have, and there's people like that. They just gotta have they gotta be in every little details and every T's and every dot. They have to put their print. I hope we're wrong. I hope Triple H continues to bring in, because now there's names being associated with WWE that we never thought of. Jay White wants a name, that his New Japan contract is coming up. AEW, WWE. He's thinking, under Triple H with a Jay White could do phenomenal. It will do phenomenal. There's so much storylines to be ran, Jay, with Jay White here coming in with Bullet Club. Give me a match with Finn Balor or AJ Styles. So many possibilities where he could go, and Carl Anderson. My goodness, there's good storyline, good matches there to bring. You also got Hikaleo. Could it be another anti bloodline? I'm not bloodline, but I am Samoan. I'm coming out. There's so many stuff there with some good free agent wrestlers. How does that affect MJF now in 2024? There's uncertainty. He can't use that. You kind of kill his gimmick, because he can't say, I'm going to the WWE. If they're going to sell, they're not going to do this. Bring McMahon back. You know what I mean? So it's a lot of moving pieces on just one guy's either stubbornness, or vision.
Yeah, definitely. And with Vince McMahon coming back, like you said earlier, as long as he's like a consultant, just like stay in office, make the money. Don't interfere with whatever's going on TV. Don't interfere with the talent. Just stay in office, make your money, do what you need to do, and that's all you gotta do. I mean, your business was running so good from this year and end of last year than it was when you were in charge. Just stay kind of away from talent, stay away from TV. I mean, if you want to come on TV, hey, by all means, I would love to hear your music come on TV or like come out do kind of what Tony Khan does. Tony Khan, what he does is before the show starts, he comes out, he hypes up the crowd, and then the show starts. If you want to do that, you can come out, play your music, get the crowds, excited. I mean, right now, I don't think the crowd's going to be excited to hear your music, but I mean, you can try to, get the crowd hyped up for the show, especially Nashville, especially that Tennessee area. But, just stay in the office, man. That's all I'm asking.
I don't even want him to come out and warm up the crowd because that means he's traveling. He's backstage. People are going to be walking on eggshell, regardless of the fact that he's not interfering and he's just there for that television appearance. I don't want the talent to be feeling that they're being watched, or am I going to get cut, or am I going to say who's really in charge? Just stay in the boardroom. And when I mean making a TV appearance from here and there, big special moments. Make the moments on McMahon's time, a WrestleMania. Welcome to WrestleMania, pal, or WrestleMania. That's fine because it's WrestleMania. Oh, the Royal Rumble. That's it. SummerSlam. Those big monster events. That's it. No, I don't need to see you on Monday Night Raw. I don't need you to see you on SmackDown. Just that's it. But it'd be interesting because Raw in a couple of weeks is going to have the 30-year anniversary. Now that's where McMahon could make a spot. You get it because he's created Raw because of his vision from taking it from Wrestling Challenge or Wrestling Superstars or whatever it was on Wrestling on USA and made it Monday Night Raw. Then you could say, welcome to Monday Night Raw. That's fine because he has the legendary voice. That's where you could use those. That's what I mean, those kind of special moments on a television for him to come out. But you don't need to see him, and I don't need him backstage when everyone, especially the new hires who came back here, they're on eggshell. They don't know. They got these wrestlers got mortgages, man. They got, like every one of us too. We all got bills and if we have uncertainty, they're independent contractors. They have contracts, yes, but they're considered independent contractors who just trying to get their pay to perform. Not only that, remember, they got to go around the world to travel and take the bumps, and they're worried. They're uncertain with their future, especially the women's division. Are they going to put restrictions on the ladies? Are they not going to allow them to wrestle? Are they going to not emphasize the women's division? Yeah, we can have them, but we don't want to see them in the main event. Do they close on WrestleMania with another women's match? Those are the questions that a lot of the WWE universe is afraid, and rightfully so, to ask those questions, to have uncertainty and have fear. We don't know. The fear comes with not knowing what the unexpected.
Yeah, definitely. And reports going online now, and kind of was yesterday as well. Vince McMahon, WWE shareholder, files lawsuit against Vince McMahon for illegally injecting himself back into the company. What are your thoughts on, Vince McMahon getting a lawsuit already for just coming back to the company?
Yeah, that was filed in Delaware, in the Second Circuit's law in the courts. When the WWE, in which it's going to happen, they're going to get investigated by the FCC, Federal Trading Law, for stockholders and stuff. And be honest with you, that's where there's a loop. If you're, and I don't wish nothing negative or bad. I mean, I know it's just wrestling at the end of the day, guys. And because he's 77 years old. If he does find something, he did something illegally, he's going to go to jail for the rest of his life. If he does force himself and violates those type of antitrust laws with the shareholders and the way he's, and if the FCC finds something like that, hey, look, Martha Stewart went away to prison, and she was the most wholesome lady on TV image-wise, and she still went away. And if McMahon does something wrong there with violating FCC, they will handcuff them, and possibly this whole thing might be kabats. This whole sale might not happen. He might have overstepped his boundaries. And he might, a 77-year-old, not thinking. With the way technology and the way everything's kept electronically and surveillance and the XYZ, I'm thinking there's still going to be a long way to go with this story with the WWE possible sale. That's possibly why Stephanie McMahon took a leave, resign. It's not a leave absence, resign, get away, go, take care of what, take that time she wanted off. Maybe she knows there's going to be an investigation here on FCC, and then the further she's away, and I resigned when he came back, maybe it opens the door for her to return to back into the fold as a CFO, a CEO there with the WWE if something shady happened in the trades, in the FCC violations and sanctions. So she cleans and she comes back in and takes over again. But this time they probably put sanctions where she stays as the CEO. Hunter's just there as creative. He has nothing to do with the board. He's just part of the creative talent relation. He still keeps the company going because you need to make money. You need to what they say, the lights on. He continues to go in there and work. Company still makes profit. Show well he was working and this that. And just I still think there's a lot to be uncovered here. This is like an onion, Jay. The more you peel it, the more it's gonna stink.
Yep, and new reports coming in from PW Insider. Another one. William Regal's new role as vice president is for global talent development. What are your thoughts on William Regal, one, coming back to the company for vice president, and his new role as global talent development?
Well, when that role I had for Nick Aldis personally, I mentioned that about a month ago. I'm not going to say it was William Regal because we all knew William Regal was stuck with AEW at that time in December when Nick Aldis was released or fired, whatever the case was with National Wrestling Alliance, the NWA. And I said, you know what? I could see, and there was rumors. I don't know now if what's going on, what's happening, what deals are going forward, what's not. People have uncertainties. They're still going to be hesitant. Maybe they haven't signed the ink on the paper or the contracts, whatever the case is. I was saying, well, Nick Aldis is no longer in NWA. He's a free agent as of January. I don't know exactly when January it is. Either he enters the Rumble. He might still enter the Rumble. Maybe it might be an appearance for Nick Aldis at the Rumble, along with Mickey J. Mickey J is going to wrestle her last match possibly this Friday on the Impact Wrestling pay-per-view. It might be her last rodeo. She fights Jody Grace for the title. She might lose. If she loses, her career's done. A lot of Ric Flair. So my point was, when Nick Aldis, I thought when NXT Europe supposed to start in a couple of months, I thought one of the perfect faces to go out there and either general manager or be a big draw for the European market would have been a Nick Aldis. He is from the UK. You make him your general manager, your face of global, like you said, global action, talent relation. And now that the Regal thing opened up, that role goes to Regal because who would Triple H trust more than a William Regal to go run or go oversee the global affairs in your NXT Europe? Well, one of his best buds in William Regal. So he has William Regal in the NXT Europe plus Michael Hickenbaum, aka HBK, the Heartbreak Kid, here in Orlando. He's surrounding himself with team of talented wrestlers or talented friends of his in the business that know how to run the business with talent and storylines in those areas where he has his imprint. He also has the Road Dogg working along with creative storyline wise. He's surrounding himself with not just with friends, but guys who know the business, who've been in the business, who've taken the bumps in the business, and that's what I thought Nick Aldis was going to come in. But now my point is at the end of the story, William Regal, the right choice now because he got available for Triple H to scoop up.
I agree with you. And now that William Regal is now global talent development, he's the vice president for it. He can't come on TV until his AEW contract is up. And with Vince McMahon in charge, kind of in charge, if Vince McMahon does this releasing kind of thing, and he does this mass releasing, do you possibly see, even though he just came back, do you really see William Regal being released? and him having to go back to AEW. Do you kind of see that happening, or is Vince McMahon gonna be like, you know what, you just came back, I'm gonna let you stay here, even though I released you before? What do you think is gonna happen with that?
I don't. I right now I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. To be honest with you, I would like to say, you know what, I do know, and he'll keep them or he'll get rid of them. Heck, he could get rid of everybody from Hit Row all the way down to all these new signings that came in with NXT from Dragon Lee and so forth. Don't know what kind of authority, what power is there, especially now that they put this lawsuit, this injunction on him from Delaware, from the other shareholders, saying that he's illegally. SEC could rule, or judge could rule and say, you do not have power to make any decisions in the WWE right now. We're gonna have to freeze until we have a fully investigation, and that could take up 2 to 3 years, and or a year or 6 months. Let's say, I'm just saying, I don't know I'm talking out of speculation. I don't have any factual proof or actual factual in front of me to tell you that. Oh yeah, it's gonna be SEC normally takes 6 months. Let's say, I'm just saying, if they put this on, if there's a timeline that they freeze McMahon's ability to do any changes to the WWE company, if he is just trying to sell it, they got to investigate it first before they approve the sale. And if they find anything and they have to wait and freezes, what business show must go on, like he says, and like everyone says in show business, the show must go on. Do Triple H go ahead and continue business as usual? That means William Regal will be okay. We'll be fine. We'll be safe. And if, let's say, a year later they allow Vince to do, okay, now you could do what you need, and he makes the budget cuts, he might have, maybe Triple H will put something in a contract that only lawyers will know the language. If he gets released, there's got to be a buyout for X amount of dollars. You never know. I don't know how these contracts are, Jay. I don't know. It's just speculating. Maybe that some of these new signings might have a parachute in case something crazy were to happen, like a release or a cut.
Yeah, and with the people trying to investigate like the no complete clause thing, with that going on, it doesn't affect WWE whatsoever, because WWE's quote unquote no complete clause for the 30 or 90 days, or 90 days for the main event, 30 days for the NXT stars, it's not a no complete clause. They're still under contract for those 30 or 90 days. And when the 90 and 30 days come up, that's their termination day. That's when they get released. So pretty much they're still under contract during those 30 to 90 days. So that doesn't really affect that. So, I mean, Vince McMahon coming back, is it a good idea for Vince McMahon to come back and inject himself into the company again and trying to get position, like kind of trying to get in charge again? Do you really think that's a good idea, or should they keep Vince McMahon out of the company? And there's so much stuff going on that I don't know what's going to happen at this point.
And I will salute to Chris the Flash in the building. There's pros and cons to these. There's a lot of course, to the Twitter, to the IWC and the Twitterverse and all us. It's a lot of cons, but at the end of the day, there was a lot of pros when he was announced part of the chairman. The stock went up. Right now, the stock I believe closed at $95 a share. It was at 82 a week ago, so it's rising. The shares on WWE stock, and right now, what moves corporate America is money and the stock. The stock up. The corporate America don't care about if the IWC says, oh, he's bad for booking, 50-50 booking, oh, repeat matches, he buries talent. They don't give a crap. All they care about how much of a profit they made, if the numbers are up, if the TV ratings are high again, and is WWE making a profit every quarter. And if that does, the boardrooms don't care about me, you, or Joe Blow screaming and hollering that the product is stale. And there is no one fighting for our voices here. And the only way you could hit their pockets for not viewing, not watching, not buying merchandise is not showing up. And that's going to be tough, because when you love this sports entertainment, why should the talent or the performers be punished for the leaders making some bad decisions or whatever. It's not their fault. They're out there performing for us. They're entertaining us, and it's kind of suck because you get put in a rock in a hard place.
Yeah, definitely. And there's a lot of stuff going, that just happened today and yesterday. But tonight, guys, it's AEW Dynamite. This is in Los Angeles, California. We have Death Triangle versus the Elite in a ladder match for the trios tag titles. We have Jon Moxley versus Hangman Adam Page. We also have Bryan Danielson versus I can't say that name. Sorry, Konusko. We have Big Bill and Lee Moriarty versus Hookhausen. We have the JAS, the Jericho Appreciation Society, coming out just to talk, and we have another sleeper for you, and we have Jamie Hayter and Dr. Breakker DMD taking on Saraya and quote unquote Tony Storm. But Brian Alvarez said that Mercedes Moné is not in Los Angeles. So guys, if you were really thinking that Mercedes Moné is gonna be the competitor, have fun, because you guys are gonna be mad because she is not in Los Angeles. She is in Japan. So have fun with that. Do you have anything else to say, Kev?
No, other than that's Dynamite. I know I'm not going to be watching it. I'm going to be doing the next game. So
Yeah,
I'm going to be knee deep in Julius Randle scoring and Obi Toppin running up and down the court and quickly hitting threes, and Jalen Brunson going for 40+ points. So I couldn't care less what the con man does with his show tonight in LA. But let me go with this here with this last thought here with this. We got to just wait for everything to be final. We just got to wait. I know it sucks, and this is the thing that everybody hates, is to wait, to be patient and wait till the final. When we hear it from mainstream media saying that this is an official sale, it's a merger or anything, even if the investigation, until we see it announced from mainstream media that the FCC has investigated and cleared, or even if they find anything, even they say they find something, until you don't see his statement from any of the major media, the FCC found something, he's in handcuffs, then you find out that it's real. It's all, this is some serious stuff. But other than that, it's just all people wishing, hearsay. I understand, listen, we all would love to be the first one to throw a scoop out there, because that's how you get over. All we're looking for is one big break. If we could find any nugget or anything that we could break as a wrestling scoop, even if we're not credible journalists, but if we had it first, the pride and how over we get with the amount of subscribers. Now you're a wrestling insider because you broke the story, you knew something, and you knew. Let's say I happened to walk yesterday to go piss in NXT, excuse my language, and I hear executives talk about this, or I saw someone giving a tour with the WWE officials giving a tour to someone from Saudi Arabian descended, and then I go, and then I put that out there. Everybody wants to be the first one to put it out there. And sometimes you jump the gun, you come to a conclusion, and just be careful with Twitter. I know it's exciting to find out, and that's why you had to go to Stephanie. She was really gone, really resigned, until you saw that, and then it came from her, and then you waited for after she said it, then you saw the reporters verified, the usual suspects, and then it got nationally picked up. Then now this is some real stuff, serious stuff. So we just gotta be careful, a little patient. I know trust me, if I could break a story quicker before any of the wrestling insiders, it's gonna help nothing but our channel. It's gonna help all of us. But I don't want to be out there putting lies or fantasies if I know it's not true. I gotta be careful, because then it's like you'll never believe. You cry wolf, and then you never get thrown out of there. Once you're labeled a liar, it's hard to overcome that stigma.
Yep. And with one more thing before we head out here, I want to get your thoughts on, if Triple H ends up leaving the company, resigning as creative head of creative, do you see Shawn Michaels coming with him? Is that a possibility that it leads both Shawn Michaels and Triple H to both resign from creative? Do you see that coming at any time?
You know what? That's a good question. Very excellent question. I don't know. I don't know where Shawn Michaels doesn't really. We don't really see him on Tuesdays. He's always in the back. I don't know what's his status or relationship still is with his family. I know he's with his wife and his children. I don't know. I know when Shawn Michaels, before getting the head of creative role, he was very involved in San Antonio in Cornerstone Church. And I don't know what is he doing here. If he's gonna take a break, if he does take, has an opportunity to use that as an out. I don't know where he is in his life. With his family wise, if he wants to spend time, if he likes staying, if he misses San Antonio, Orlando's similar to San Antonio. Although I never been to San Antonio, but shout out to my main man Alex, my barber, whose grandparents live in San Antonio. It's laid back. It was like Orlando how it used to be many years when I first moved out here. That's if he's by comparison, him telling me visiting, it's different visiting than to live there. But my point is, I don't know if he misses San Antonio. How much is it? Because he probably lives. I wouldn't know Shawn Michaels the way he is. He probably lives somewhere down by Bithlo, Heathrow, where it's mostly, or Sorrento, where there's a little bit of land where he kind of has that same vibe as San Antonio, with a ranch type of style, with some land and some maybe horses, or who knows? I don't know. I don't know where he's at in his life with his family, if they're homesick. But they've been here for quite some time. Maybe they like Orlando. I don't know, Jay. That's a good question there. If he will go with Triple H, personally, there was also will Triple H. I don't think Triple H won't leave the wrestling business. Even if he doesn't work for the WWE, I'm not saying he's going to work for AEW. So don't even think about putting the All Elite graphic. But money talks, bullshit walks. I always said it. I could see him going an independent, making up his own, coming up with his own wrestling promotion. I know Kevin Kelly wants to come up with a wrestling promotion as well as Freddie Prinze Jr. But could you see a partnership and make another wrestling to combat? Wouldn't be surprised me.
Yeah, but before we went on air, I did say that if Triple H and Stephanie, and whoever resigns with them, along with them, if they all resign, they could start another company. Hey, it would sell. People would watch, because what's going on TV right now, it's amazing stuff. They're putting out great matches, good storylines, long-term booking. It's everything. Everything we wanted is happening right in front of our eyes. And with Vince McMahon coming back, it's kind of starting to crumble. I mean, we're still seeing it on TV, but once we hear that news that Vince McMahon is trying to get in charge, head of creative again, it's going to start to crumble, and we're going to see a lot of budget cuts. And it's just going to, these stars that just came back, man, they're getting their second chance, and now they're seeing, because they came back because of Vince McMahon's gone, and now they're seeing Vince McMahon's coming back. Is that really a good look on WWE's hand, to have someone like Vince McMahon, who pretty much was kind of the downfall after the Performance Center era, of all these budget cuts, and with all these people that got cut, they're coming back, and Vince McMahon's back. It's just not a good look for WWE right now. But other than that, I have nothing else to say.
One thing with that, with McMahon, with the budget cuts and stuff currently right now, I'm gotta wait to see when corporations do some kind of massive budget cuts and cut down, it's because they were getting ready to sell. And that's why I say, there might be more budget cuts now because he's getting ready to sell again. I think they already got what they needed to get financially down. And of course, to get rid of the scandal, to pay off the scandals, to pay this off, to prepare himself for this and that. And I think that's out of the question. I don't think there'll be any more budget cuts. Personally, I don't think there will be no more. I don't think but never say never, because you can always try to, if you got a salary that's not working, it is to just get rid of it. This is one thing I'm going to say. This is a telltale sign here. Keep an eye out. Keep an eye out if Simone Johnson abandons or leaves the NXT Performance Center. If her father pulls her out, or does not continue to wrestle in schism, then we know something's really up serious, because Dwayne Johnson's not going to leave her daughter in a company where he himself isn't agreeing with the Saudi. But that's why we're jumping the gun in conclusions.
Yeah, and there's reports going on that Sudu did tweet out that he's leaving NXT, and we're kind of the people at the Performance Center are like gonna miss him a lot. But now I'm getting reports from, I don't know if this is true, but Evan just told me that he was fired. He didn't quit; he got fired. I don't know how true. I don't know how true that is, but I'll look into that after the show, and if anything, I'll report it on Twitter. So yeah.
Interesting, because he said that was his last day, and also we saw Mandy Rose released due to her content on the fans time. That was the main reason. Although she spoke very well on the show Tamron show that she came on about the NXT, possibly a return, could be imminent if she closes her fan time account. You never know. Never say never, but it is. We shall see. This is an ongoing. This is going to be many of the videos, top all the different agenda that's going to give us World WWE. And that's not good, because you're coming into WrestleMania season, going on a Rumble and Mania season, and you wanted everyone to be giving you the best performance, and now people are going to be on pins and needles, which is kind of I would hate that. Maybe more people will tune in to see if the product will change or not. Even and the numbers will go up. Maybe that's a ploy to get some numbers to spike. I don't know, right? Because let me final this. Let me leave this with your final thoughts, guys. Why would Vince come back and ruin the one of the most hottest storylines that they have been in about 5 years with the Bloodline and Sami Zayn? Think about it. I mean, are you that stupid or delusional that you're going to come in here and ruin that storyline? The way it's making money and with ratings, merchandise, don't being feeling oozy. Think about that. Why would he come in?
Yeah, I don't think that he's coming here to ruin anything. I think he's just coming here to make a couple, some millions of dollars and just leave. Billions, trillions, whatever, how much he wants to make. He'll come back, make some money, and leave. That's what happens. He probably spent it all on his, new person that he has with him. At all these dinners that he has, that reports of them seeing him at dinner with someone. Maybe he spent too much money and he needs more money. So, and he doesn't want to work for a corner store, job. He doesn't want to work a normal job. He's going to come back to the business. He's going to make some money. He's going to leave. So, guys, honestly, as long as the company doesn't get sold to somebody in the wrong hands, we're fine. Just keep watching the product, keep supporting the product, and if anything goes wrong, you do what you want to do, because we can't control what you do.
At the end of the day, it's always wrestling, no matter what. That's just the problem is the business side gets to get overshadowed of what the performers and what the storyline is. At the end of the day, we've seen it from '84, from '82, when Vince McMahon Sr. sold his company to Vince McMahon Jr. That's another thing I wanted to remind you guys. Remember, Vince McMahon bought this from his father. His father didn't give it to him. So the notion that we thought, that's why it doesn't surprise me that when he gives, he's going to give it to Shane, he's going to give it to Stephanie. Nonsense. His father didn't give him the WWF to him. McMahon is not going to give the WWE to his kids like that.
Isn't Shane not in the company anymore?
Shane's supposedly not in the company. But
he got released after the Royal Rumble last year.
So it's like saying that I don't know.
I don't know, because I haven't heard anything about Shane McMahon in a long time.
Wouldn't it surprise me he'd be somewhere? Listen, and on that will, if that man were to pass away tomorrow, on that will, you telling me that's not Shane McMahon's name is not going to be there on that will?
It will.
Exactly. So that's why I'm like, whatever. It's like, oh, he's not there. Personally, Shane. Personally, it should be Stephanie and Shane. There should be co-CEOs and running the company, and that's it. That's the way. But they don't. It would be nice if they would have come up with money. Personally, I'm looking for a dark horse, man. 7 $7 production, man. Just come on up. Yeah, keep it in the Samoa line and keep the right guys working. Let Triple H work and let you go do Hollywood and have fun. And and The Rock. I wish he'd find some money, some buddies, a couple guys, and buy it and just go with it. $7 production. Let's go.
Yeah, and if Triple H and Stephanie do go out and make their own company, do you really think that some of the stars here in WWE, like big names like Roman Reigns, Brock Lesnar, John Cena, will they leave the company to join that company, or will they be loyal and stay with the WWE? Or do you see that Triple H or whoever, if they do, this is all just speculation, guys. This is not happening. We're just speculating. If they make a company of their own. Are they going to sign? They're going to probably sign a lot of indie stars. That's Triple H there, black and gold there. A lot of indie stars.
That's what he's going to do. He's not going to bring. He'll probably bring a couple big names that will come who are free agents, but he's not going to poach or say. He's just going to continue building with the young talent. And do what he did with NXT. He's got guys building from the indies and a couple developmental and let them go and it's going to take about 4 to 5 years, but he's going to be he will make it right where people are going to want to like and want to watch the product. He's going to do the way Black and Gold started. You're going to see the stars that we see now, the Big E, the Sami Zayn, the Kevin Owens, they all started with Keith Lee, the Black and Gold guys, and bring them up. And if he were to do that again, here's the thing though, Jay. Is he healthy enough? Remember, he just went through almost died about a year ago with the stroke. I know now. Does he want that stress?
I listen. I don't. I have. I mean, I don't know, man. Honestly, if he wants to put that on his back, then let him do it. I don't know if he's healthy enough to do it, but he's running. He's the head of creative for WWE. He has he has to run both Raw and SmackDown main event. And he has to do all these storylines, put people on TV. And there's a lot of people that want something to happen and are asking Triple H to do. And, it's a lot of it's stress even just running the company right now, along with all these rumors and stuff going on.
The difference is it's not Triple H alone. He has a team. He's got Jesse James, the Road Dogg, with him. He's got other people there to work with him and bookers and talented writing agents to write storylines. He's an overseer. He oversees the talent. He's in the gorilla position. We know that. We saw that when they went to Brooklyn. He's in the gorilla position. He's there at night with the talent, but to oversee every storyline, everything, he listens. He has a lot of meetings, but he's not the one there. Like McMahon will physically pour himself on every story. That's why sometimes it didn't feel like it went anywhere, or Waller signed this, got scratched this, and because he's one man, but that's also being a good. That's why Triple H is revered and loved by not just all the NXTs and former people under his development, because he knows how to delegate, and that's the quality of a good leader. Know how to delegate and surround yourself with good, smart people, like he did with a Regal and so forth, to help him make his task and his job easier, where he doesn't feel that pressure and that burden of just one guy and, oh my God, I'm overwhelmed and so forth. And I think that's why he works. That's why it works, dude. That's why you could see the proof is there by these results.
Yeah. And, honestly, I'm just here as a fan trying to watch wrestling, trying to have a fun time. So a lot of us are doing, and the IWC is just going crazy because they want all their favorites to be champion. They want all their favorites to be on TV, and they're scared because, like, somebody like Bray Wyatt, I'm a Bray Wyatt fan. I know a lot of people are, and we're excited for him to come back. And a lot of people are like, is Vince McMahon going to release him if he becomes head of creative? If he just runs the company like he used to, is he going to release him again? And that's going to be
the question. That's where everybody's up. Everybody's on pins and needles. Even the talent, the fan base. Everybody's waiting to see. And of course, what makes it even more stressing is not having Stephanie, who was the calm, You know, she was there, cool, and that now the talent must be a little nervous. It'll be interesting Friday Night SmackDown how that's gonna be, the vibe, the atmosphere, the matches. You know, you got a hell of a match between Gunther and Braun Strowman for the Intercontinental title. You know, we knew all the reports. McMahon wanted to bury Gunther. You know, and now if he, you know, starts tall tailing sign is going to find out on Friday if Braun Strowman gets over or what's going to happen. What happens if there's a new Intercontinental Champion? You know, what does happen to WrestleMania with Gunther and the possibilities of him having a big match? It's interesting time, uncertainty, but we'll be here to break everything down, to give our opinions, our thoughts, and watch the different shows. Dynamite is tomorrow night. Then you have, you know,
It's
Impact
tonight.
tonight. I mean, excuse me, Impact tomorrow night. Whenever you watch the Impact Wrestling getting ready for their go home show before their pay-per-view on Friday night, and then you got Friday Night SmackDown, of course, and you got Rampage on Friday night as well, and we shall see how it goes there. But for myself, I want to thank you guys for joining us here on this good program here, Heal the Ring podcast. A little longer than normal, but when we get together, we just want to talk wrestling from fan to fan. And of course, we'll put this is the final of the Toxic Tuesday, like we call it. So, Jay, thank you for joining me here. We'll continue to watch wrestling, and let's get over, not get pinned, and not tap out. Always finish strong.
Yep, and we over here at the Heal the Ring podcast, we have 2 words for you. Just subscribe. Thank you guys for joining.
Awesome! You people bought a ticket to see me, so shut up!
Sometimes I get so mad, there's no control.
Ladies and gentlemen, just in case you live under a rock,
I might
you
grab
are
a bat, I
looking
don't know,
at
my
the
wrath, my
youngest
blood
and
boils
fastest
over
rising
like,
star in
oh God, here
professional
goes. I
wrestling
lost all
today.
feeling from my head to my toes. You said some shit that I can't let go, so just stay tuned for the rest of the show. So have you ever felt betrayed? Switches how you see things, realize something needs change. Cause I know you got me fucked up, let me show you what's up. Cause enough is enough. I'll take a face full of pavement just to make a statement. I know there's no turning back. Oh God, adrenaline wasted, so mad I can taste it. I know there's no turning back. I'll do what it takes, I ain't making mistakes like that. I'll play it on your face just to make you go take it back. I'll lose my shit, I go crazy when I'm mad. And now you gon' wish you was just a fuck up real bad.
Shut up! Be the villain! And I have no problem at all, because I couldn't care less if you like me or not. I'm here for success, and there's no one more successful than Grayson Waller.
Yeah! Let me talk to